your leg. Weave 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 your leg.
Hi guys, I'm Dr. Kiva,
Hey everybody, I am Robin B.
and welcome to How You Livin'.
And today, as usual, we're going to talk about things that are pertaining to wellness.
Yes.
And so what I'd like to do today is share my experience with holistic alternative medicine or alternative, and that's all things herbal, not herb, herbal. So how did I get into, of course, I own a tea company.
Right.
And it's all about wellness teas. So how did I get into this? Well, my story began back in 2006. Okay, I woke up one morning, I worked for corporate America back then. Job was very stressful. And I woke up one morning and I was literally covered from head to toe in red lesions. I mean, they were open sores.
Really?
Yes. It was so, I didn't know how bad I looked. All I knew is how bad I felt.
So the night you went to sleep, you didn't have
Monday.
it, and you woke up.
Absolutely. Monday, I worked, did my regular, came home, had dinner, did nothing new. Tuesday morning, when I woke up, that's how well I remember. It was February, Tuesday morning in February. And I woke up a whole new person, literally a whole new person.
Wow.
And so I was in so much pain that it was almost impossible for me to even get out of bed. Took me about 10 minutes to walk to the bathroom. I was determined to see what I looked like because I could feel that everything, my body was hurting. And I could see on my arms and hands, I had red spots all over me. And so, of course, when I looked in the mirror, I was horrified. I literally, from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet were red lesions.
Wow.
Never experienced anything like that. It was horrible. So I got back in bed. I wouldn't talk to anyone. I had to process it first because it was traumatic. I didn't know what it was. So when I finally did go to my regular doctor, my general practitioner, he had no idea what it was, and he assumed it was some kind of skin disease. So initially, he sent me to a dermatologist. And when the dermatologist, they checked me out, they didn't know what it was.
Right.
So then he sent me to a rheumatologist, which makes sense because he assumed it was an autoimmune disease.
Right.
Rheumatologist was lost. He had no idea. So I'm like, they're probably going to send me to a psychologist. Maybe it's all in my mind. Well, needless to say, I got nowhere. So I went back home. I was really sickly. I was so, frustrated and disappointed. I literally went home and didn't know what to do. Now, enter my little brother Donald, and his story is so remarkable. I'll have to share that with you one day. He has 12 lives. Anyway, he wanted to take me down to a Chinese herbalist.
Nice.
So this herbalist had literally helped him, got him out of a wheelchair. That's why I knew that he knew he was talking about. So I went to this doctor. He literally took my wrist, and you know something about this doctor.
Right.
He felt my meridians. And he knew immediately what was wrong with me. He wrote this prescription, and it was a prescription for tea. He made a tea made of all these herbs and leaves and dirt and whatever else he could find in his backyard. And I had to drink that for 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I started feeling better almost immediately. But when I finished, I was completely healed. My skin was perfectly clean. But I also lost 15 pounds. So I'm like, oh my God, this is a whole new reality. Didn't know nothing. All I knew about tea is that I loved it. And I drank it all. I've been drinking tea since I was a kid. So this was a whole new experience for me.
What did he diagnose you with? What did
He
say?
never said. And I don't even know really if he spoke English much. But he knew his stuff. He was incredibly, he was very popular too. He was a well-kept secret because, holistic doctors are not very popular in the medical world.
Yeah.
But all I know is it worked. I saw with my own eyes that it healed my brother, who was a paraplegic at the time, and it healed me. So I said, this is my new world. I am going to do everything I can. So from 2006 to today, I've done nothing but experiment and research and take classes and do everything I could to find how holistic alternative medicine. So I knew that alternative medicine, holistic healing, whatever you want to call it, was the way to go. What he taught me is that your body can heal itself if you have the right herbs.
That's cool.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I call your garden, the herbal world, God's pharmacy. Because that's what all you need. If you know what to put together, you really can make yourself better. So what I wanted to do today was kind of get with you, have a conversation with you about some of the major ailments. Now, one thing we know about Americans is, or today's society, is most of the ailments we have are either avoidable or reversible.
Yes.
But you don't have to live with them. They're chronic, they could be acute, but you can really avoid surgery.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that because they think that the doctor's word is the final word. That's the Bible.
End all be all. I've seen a lot of people in the clinic, they'll have a list of all these medications, and it's just because their doctor said, oh, I got to take this gabapentin, I got to take this Flexeril, they just take.
And the worst part is that everything you're prescribed, you need something else to counter the side effects. And that's why your poor liver and your poor kidneys are just suffering.
Well, it was, my mom went to a doctor, and it was like, well, you have some cholesterol, and we need to give you this medicine.
Yeah.
She was like, well, I heard that this medicine can affect and give you diabetes. And the nurse said, okay, we'll give you a pill for that.
Isn't that sad? I'm telling you, when I used to volunteer at the nursing home, I had one of my wards that I was looking after. They would give him something for, I think it was whatever the medication made him very constipated. But instead of them finding a different medicine, they would just give him a laxative. So this poor man, his kidney, this is how people end up what's called non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. And that is one of the most common ailments that we're all dealing with right now. And they also tell you that you have to live with that's the final. I know people who have reversed that whole diagnosis by diet.
I mean,
literally
the body regenerates itself, so why can't it regenerate?
Because that would put the medical profession out of business.
Oh, pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, and the pharmaceuticals. Yeah, they're all hand in hand. So what I'd like to do is share some very common ailments and which herbal teas that will solve it.
Now, in the clinic, the first thing that I see, and I must admit, even when I'm doing DOT physicals, if I see someone who doesn't have high blood pressure, I'm like, what you doing?
Oh my goodness, because they sit all the time driving, right?
Yeah, because a lot of people have high blood pressure.
God.
So what do you have to help with hypertension?
Okay, hypertension, high blood pressure. Now, one of the things you'll find out is green tea is one of the healthiest teas on earth. But the thing with green tea, you literally have to drink 3 or 4 cups a day. If you can do that, you're going to see a change in your. But that's a lot. So what I would recommend,
right?
it's caffeine. So that's one of the side effects. Right. Exactly. That's a very good point. So what I would recommend for high blood pressure is hibiscus tea. Hibiscus is a very, very powerful plant, and you don't have to drink 4 or 5 cups a day. But if you do, there's no caffeine in it.
Now, hibiscus, isn't it a diuretic?
It is a diuretic, so that's why it probably works so well for your blood pressure. And I like to put hibiscus in a little bit of everything. And not only does it add to the value, but it also tastes good. So I like to put hibiscus in my purple tea, and that just kind of turns it into something even more special. And like for bloating and gas, one of the most common things we deal with because of the way we eat, peppermint tea. I love peppermint tea, and it works like a miracle.
Because it helps to settle your stomach?
It settles. It's an antispasmodic. So once you drink that, it'll calm all those muscles down.
Yeah, they're not spasming.
Right, you're not doing this and contracting. It's relaxing.
Now, let me ask you this. So with that, and it's stopping contraction, is it healthy for a pregnant woman to drink peppermint tea?
I think that's a very good question. With all teas, I always recommend that you check with your doctor. Peppermint tea, I'm trying to remember, there is a particular tea that's good for pregnant women, and that's red raspberry. I don't know if you know that. So peppermint tea, I'd have to double check, but raspberry leaf is wonderful. What it does is strengthen the womb.
Okay.
And it's great for late stage pregnancy. So it definitely helps with your contractions and with your womb during childbirth. So a lot of holistic doctors will recommend red raspberry leaf, for late stage pregnancy.
So would that tea be good if someone has a hysterectomy?
I would think so, because it's womb. That's a very good question, because it supports the womb. Absolutely. And now what I like to do for like hot flashes. A perfect example of what we're all dealing with. I just watched a video yesterday with Tabitha Brown. Did you see that?
No.
She's all over. Oh, God bless her. She's on Instagram. She takes her hair ain't even done. She's like the hot flashes, the insomnia, the anxiety. I literally messaged her. I said, I got something for you. You do not need to suffer in silence.
So, menopause, hot flash.
Yes. Raspberry leaf, again, it's
Raspberry
wonderful
leaf.
for women's health.
Uh-huh.
Combine that with sage leaf.
I heard sage in menopause.
And then red clover. Now that's great because they all sort of act as they sort of act like hormone. They act as a hormone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they will remove, they pretty much eliminate your hot flashes, but they're also great for PMS. So that there were a lot of teas that operate as hormonal, and so they will help you with if you have too much estrogen. So
yeah, because I get a lot of women who are coming in with hysterectomy one,
yes,
for sure, and partial hysterectomy, full hysterectomy, then the hormones just go all over the place.
Right.
And fibroids.
Yeah. So there are even teas, and I can't tell you off the top of my head right now, but there are herbal teas that will also assist with fibroids. So.
Now, the next biggie I see is diabetes, because, and a lot of people don't even realize they have, and I ask them because one sign of diabetes is you can look on the back of someone's neck and you start to see a bunch of different black lines going around their neck.
Yikes.
They need to at least go check to see if they have diabetes, and I see that a lot.
That's very good.
So what do you
believe
have
it
for
or not,
diabetes?
mulberry leaf is.
Mulberry leaf.
I have the incredible amount of people whenever they get the mulberry leaf, they buy 3 and 4 cans. It comes in a tin because mulberry leaf literally can reverse your diabetes. It'll reduce your blood sugar. There's a few other ones, but mulberry leaf is one of the most effective herbals that will lower your blood sugar and really can help you slowly but surely get off of your diabetes medicine. I wouldn't recommend doing that at the same time, but that's what I would definitely recommend is mulberry leaf tea.
Yeah, because a lot of people, because when you start dealing with diabetes, of course you can start to maybe deal with a little erectile dysfunction.
Yes, so, and not only that, but high blood pressure medicine is a known love killer. We'll say it that way. So if you're dealing with a libido, and actually menopause is a big libido killer as well.
It is.
So there are a couple of things. First of all, let me tell you if you're having prostate issues, let me just say that first for men. I'm gonna give the men a little bit of a shout out. Saw palmetto.
They got it with the diabetes
they do.
And the high blood pressure.
They're the ones who have the biggest problems because
Exactly.
they got the most work to do. Sorry, but you do. So saw palmetto is great for prostate support. It'll really help that. But for the libido, it's also helpful for the libido because it is supporting the prostate. But there is a something called horny goat weed, and I think there's the other one is tribulus.
So is it really called horny goat weed?
Do you believe that is a cute name? And there's a story behind that. But horny goat weed is good for male and female, and the reason is because it helps thin the blood. But when it helps thin the blood, it also, for some reason, helps direct the blood to the regions that are needed to get things cooking again.
I wonder is it gravity?
That would be interesting. That might be part of it. But it also, believe it or not, helps with your brain fog.
Oh, I need
because
it.
It thins.
Horny goat weed.
Can
you give me some
before you leave?
I'm gonna give you some
I'm
horny
gonna give you a little
goat weed.
sample pack. But
My brain is like,
it is so helpful for the brain. Absolutely.
So I wonder, could it help with like dementia, Alzheimer's? I mean, I
yes,
see it cure it,
there
but
there are herbs that are very specific to Alzheimer's and dementia, and I'm sorry I don't have them in front of me.
Right.
But all of that stuff, you are absolutely right.
I'm getting me some.
That's a big. And then for migraines and headaches, which is something that I get from time to time, probably because I think too much. But feverfew is great. White willow bark, peppermint, licorice. I put all that together. And I think nettle leaf. But I put all that together, and that definitely helps with headaches and migraines.
Nice.
Peppermint's good too. And of course for libido, ginseng has always been known to be great for libido as well. Now, one of the things I do enjoy, if you deal with anxiety, all the lemons, the lemon family. So that is lemon balm, lemon grass, lemon verbena. Also, there was one I was going to talk about specifically. Oh, chamomile. So these are great for insomnia or anxiety.
Right.
And you put them all together and you should sleep very well.
I mean, you know what's interesting about lemon, not knowing about the herbs, is it's such a vivid, bright smell.
Right.
The smelling lemon just kind of brightens you up.
Do you know that's great that you brought that up? Because if you're, when I used to work from home all the time in corporate America, there were two oils that kept me. The lemon, if you smell the lemon, it lifts your spirits. It lifts you up. Peppermint oil not only lifts you up, but it brings clarity. So if you're at work and you're sluggish and your brain ain't working, drink some peppermint tea. It's great for clarity. Absolutely. Or just smell it. All you got to do is smell it. And that same goes for chamomile. So if you just smell chamomile, that'll wake you up.
But I guess even if you think about aromatherapy,
that's
because
exactly
you're smelling
right.
it is going to
these are herbs.
your nerve, and that nerve is going to the brain, into the limbic system, and that helps to brighten everything, right?
Absolutely. And so, of course, essential oils are made of the plants.
Exactly.
So the teas and the oils are all related.
What about holy basil? Do you ever use that for
Holy
anything?
basil is really excellent. I'm trying to remember what it's good for, but it's very, very popular. And I'm sorry that I can't remember what.
No,
but
I know
L-theanine.
sometimes it seemed like it was related
I'm
to
trying to remember.
mental health or being
It is
happy.
something for your spirit. It is something for your mood. It is a mood enhancer. I can't remember specifically, but one I did want to bring up with green tea, with purple tea as well, which is kind of new, but L-theanine. And that's why green tea makes you feel so good. Even though it has caffeine, because it has a high level of L-theanine, which is amino acid, I believe, it calms you down and it's a mood elevator.
Okay.
So when I don't want to drink a lot of green tea if I got to sleep at night, so I actually will take the L-theanine capsules.
Okay.
And so that's a really good calming.
I have a question. What is purple tea? What is purple tea?
So purple tea is made from the green tea family.
Okay,
It
I was
is.
like, is it made from a purple plant?
So purple tea is brand new. It's one of the newest. It's so new that's not in most of the tea books.
Okay.
I think it's been around since 2011, but it's derived from the green tea family. So it's the same. It's the same leaf, but it's cultivated differently. So it doesn't. It'd be nice if it was purple, but when you brew it, it looks more like a rosé.
Oh man!
And then, but when you squeeze some lemon in it, then it turns hot pink. So it's kind of magical. And so it has all of the same great benefits of green tea. And green tea has a lot. I want to see if I had a cheat sheet. I could tell you real quick. A few things that green tea does for you. Very high in antioxidants. So anything that green tea has, purple tea is more. It's even more powerful. It helps reduce the risk of stroke, believe it or not, because it helps thin your blood. It's great for clogging. It helps unclog your arteries. But again, this is when you're drinking 4 or 5 cups a day. It speeds up your metabolism. It will help you lose weight. At least 3 to 4 cups a day. That's true.
Back or throughout the day?
Throughout the day. Just throughout the day. That means you're keeping it in your system. So even when they say taking a certain supplements, you shouldn't take them all at the same time. Split it up a little bit. And we all
using up things because it can make you hyper.
Yes.
Maybe.
And I drink during COVID. I drank green tea with ginger all day, every day. I never got hyper because of the L-theanine. So it keeps you, and that's the beauty of green tea. It keeps you alert, but it doesn't make you spastic like coffee might, because the L-theanine balances out the caffeine.
Okay.
So it's a really good drink to do. And then the nice thing about it is it's great hot, it's great cold, anyway. And you dress it up.
My mother, she had issues with vision. So she actually lost sight in one eye.
Oh my goodness.
So what kind of tea can I suggest for her for vision?
I would recommend white tea, believe it or not. White tea has been known to help people with cataracts as well. But again, you got to drink a lot. You can't just have a cup and next thing you know you got 20/20 vision.
Wouldn't it be nice?
That would be lovely. But I definitely would recommend white tea for eye health. If you're trying to lose weight, I would recommend oolong tea. Oolong is known to cut fat, believe it or not. Not only does it help with your metabolism, but it literally helps burn the fat quicker than all the other teas.
Man, the tea herbal world, it's like we just scratched a little bit of it.
Only a tiny bit. We're
going to have a part 2 of this,
Oh,
right?
we have to. And I'm hoping that really whoever's listening, that you guys have questions, because literally There is a tea for everything.
There's a tea for that.
There's a tea for that. I want to do a commercial like Apple. When they first came out with Apple and they said, there's an app for that.
There's a tea for that.
There's a tea for that. Really. That's going to be my motto.
Oh, it's a done deal. Where are the t-shirts?
Absolutely. TEA shirts. Right? So that's just a little tiny bit.
That is a lot of information.
But the
takeaway, I'm drinking green tea all day.
Thank you. And the moral of the story is you do not have to always go to the pharmacy to get your healing. Just look into it.
Just go to
call
You
me.
Endure.
Go to youendure.com or call Robin, and I'll be happy.
Because I'm sure on your site you have all the teas and the information that they can even get more information on the teas.
It's broken down by wellness. It's broken down by condition. So if you're looking for something specific for a specific ailment, they'll take you right to that particular tea.
So if you just want to even know more information about those particular herbs, go to Your Endure and you'll definitely get that information.
Thank you. And there'll be a lot more articles out regarding that. Thank you.
Because there's a tea for that.
There's a tea for that. I'm telling you. So hopefully I gave you a little bit of insight.
You gave me more than a little bit. I hope I'm going to have to listen and write down. And
but I'm telling you, tea green,
yeah.
I'm going to hook Dr. Kiva up. And that way she could give you all a testimony.
Come back in a month after I drink my green tea every day.
Let's see how clear her brain is.
Oh.
She don't need to lose weight though. But we're probably way out of time.
Yes, we are a done deal.
But thank you for listening. You know this is my passion. I can talk about tea all day long.
That's why she's the tea lady.
Hello. Anyway, so I hope you guys learned a lot. In the meantime, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook and soon to be YouTube, and of course listen to the podcast.
Yes, and this show is brought to you by Nomadic Soul Retreats, where we do retreats at different locations. We do vegan workshops. We even do yoga teacher training if you want to go through a yoga teacher training.
That's
so we'll make it happen. NomadicSouls.com.
And they can find you on Instagram, right?
Find me at Instagram at Yoga Hippie and
thank you
Nomadic Soul.
And we appreciate your sponsorship.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
So peace, guys. We got to tell you next time we have to ask you.
Or we'll ask you this time too.
How you living?
Wave it like in the air. Wave like you just don't care. Wave like you feeling good. Wave your life for you. Wave your life. Wave your life. Wave your life. Wave your life. Wave your life in the air. Wave like you just don't care. Wave like you feeling good. Wave your life for you. Wave your life. Wave your